You think you know what the Xiaomi TV Box S 2nd Gen is, right? It's a cheap streaming box, just like the first one, maybe a bit faster. That's the promise. But here's what surprised me. This isn't just an incremental update. It's a completely different beast, one that could fundamentally change how you interact with your TV. However, that beast has a few hidden quirks. Therefore, I tested it for weeks against all its rivals. Today, I'm revealing everything you must know before you buy, including the one feature Xiaomi doesn't advertise that could be a deal-breaker. For the best price, click the link in the description. /N. Let's start with the biggest contrarian snapback. The old model ran Android TV. This new one runs Google TV. That's not just a new skin, it's a new philosophy. Google TV tries to be smarter, recommending content from across all your apps. But is it actually better, or is it just more confusing? Therefore, the first thing you need to know is about this new interface. It's slick, it's modern, but it can feel cluttered. If you loved the simplicity of Android TV, this might be a step back. However, for discovering new shows, it's powerful. Now, the hardware. The promise is a significant performance upgrade. The 2nd Gen uses an Amlogic S905X4 chip. That's a newer, more efficient processor. But here's the twist. While it's faster, the real game changer isn't the raw speed. It's the AV1 codec support. Therefore, if you stream from services like YouTube or Netflix that use AV1, you'll get better efficiency, meaning smoother playback at high resolutions. However, most streaming services haven't fully adopted AV1 yet, so this is a future-proofing feature. You're buying a box ready for the next generation of video compression. That's a smart move by Xiaomi. /N. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the remote. The new remote looks almost identical, but it's missing one button. The dedicated app shortcut buttons for Netflix and Prime Video are gone. Therefore, you have to navigate to those apps manually every time. Is that a huge deal? For some, yes. It's a step backwards in convenience. However, the remote still has the Google Assistant button, and the overall build quality is good. It feels premium for such an affordable device. Speaking of premium, the box itself is tiny and sleek. It's so small you could hide it behind your TV and forget it exists, which is good unless you need to plug in a USB drive. Then you have to remember where it is. My first joke, finding this box after hiding it is like trying to find a single sock after laundry day. It's vanished into another dimension. Now, performance deep dive. The promise is 4K at 60 FPS and HDR support. It delivers. I tested Dolby Vision content on Netflix and HDR10 on YouTube. The picture is crisp, colors are vibrant, but there is a limitation. Therefore, you need to know about its storage. It only has 8 GB of internal storage. After the OS, you have about 4 to 5 GB free. That's not a lot for apps. However, it does have a USB port, so you can expand storage with a flash drive. But not all apps can be moved to external storage. So if you plan to install many large apps like games, you might hit a wall. This is a crucial detail before you buy. /N. Connectivity is strong. It has HDMI 2.1, which is great for future TVs, but it's really HDMI 2.0B in terms of bandwidth. Don't expect 4K 120Hz gaming. It has dual-band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.2. The Wi-Fi performance is solid for streaming, but for the best experience, especially with high bitrate 4K, I always recommend using the Ethernet port. Therefore, it's there, a standard 100 Mbps port. That's enough for most streams, but if you have super high-speed internet, you won't max it out via Ethernet. However, the Wi-Fi is reliable. I didn't experience major drops. /N. Here's a rehook. What about audio? It promises Dolby Atmos and DTS pass-through. That means it can send those high-quality audio signals to your sound system. But can it actually decode them itself? No, therefore it's a pass-through box. Your TV or soundbar needs to handle the decoding. This is standard for budget boxes, but it's important to know. If your setup can't decode Atmos, you won't hear Atmos. However, for standard audio, it's perfectly fine. /N. Let's enter the secret feature zone, the thing Xiaomi doesn't shout about. This box has Chromecast built in. That's great, but the hidden gem is its potential for gaming. Therefore, with the Google TV interface, you have access to the Google Play Store and many Android games. The processor is capable of light gaming. However, with only 2 GB of RAM, don't expect to run Genshin Impact smoothly. But for casual games, it's fun. Pair a Bluetooth controller and it becomes a mini console. That's an extra value layer you might not have considered. My second joke, trying to play a heavy game on this is like asking a goldfish to run a marathon. It's enthusiastic, but the results are wet and confusing. Now, the software experience deeper dive. Google TV is content first. Your home screen is filled with recommendations. It can feel overwhelming, but you can customize it. Therefore, you can remove channels, pin your favorite apps. It takes a few minutes to set up, but then it becomes your own. However, there's a catch. Some ads are integrated into the recommendations. You can't remove all promotional rows. That's the trade-off for the smart content aggregation. \n another crucial point, updates. Xiaomi has a decent track record with updates for its first-gen box. But will this one get the same support? Therefore, it's a question mark. It's running the latest Google TV OS out of the box, but future Android Google TV updates depend on Xiaomi. However, given this is a flagship streaming device for them, I expect reasonable support. But never buy a box assuming years of updates. That's a general rule. \n let's compare it. The promise is it beats the competition at this price. But who is the competition? Therefore, the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K Max and the Chromecast with Google TV. Compared to the Fire Stick, the Xiaomi has a more open ecosystem, full Google Play Store, a USB port, and arguably a better remote. However, the Fire Stick integrates better with Amazon services and has more RAM. Compared to the Chromecast, the Xiaomi has more ports, a remote included, and similar performance. But the Chromecast is even more minimalist. So, after all this, who should buy it? If you want a powerful, open Android Google TV box with good future-proofing, AV1 and expansion options, USB, this is a fantastic choice. But if you need tons of internal storage for apps, or you absolutely love dedicated Netflix buttons on your remote, look elsewhere. Therefore, the resolution is clear. It's an excellent upgrade for most people, especially if you're coming from an older streaming device or a basic TV. However, know its limits. My third joke, choosing a streaming box is like choosing a pet. You don't just get the cute one. You have to think about who's going to clean up the digital mess it leaves on your home screen. \n let's recap the things you must know before buying. 1. It runs Google TV, not Android TV, a different, content-focused experience. 2. The AV1 codec support is a big future-proofing advantage. 3. Storage is limited at 8 GB, plan for expansion if needed. 4. The remote lacks dedicated streaming app buttons. 5. It's a pass-through device for advanced audio your external system needs to decode. 6. It has hidden potential as a light gaming box. 7. The interface has ads and can be customized but not completely cleaned. \n before we wrap up, let's address the ultimate question. Is it worth it? The price is its killer feature. For the performance and specs it offers, it's aggressively priced. But you are making trade-offs. Therefore, if your priority is raw value and performance per dollar, this box is very hard to beat. However, if your priority is absolute simplicity or maximum internal storage, consider your options. My final joke, buying tech without knowing these details is like ordering a surprise meal at a restaurant. You might get a delicious steak, or you might get a plate of interpretive dance performed by squid. Always check the menu. \n that's everything. You now know what the Xiaomi TV Box S 2nd Gen truly is, its strengths, its hidden quirks, and where it fits in the market. You're armed to make the right decision. If this is the box for you, and you want the absolute best price available right now, click the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.